A Tea Party rally on Capitol Hill demanding Republicans not compromise on a proposed $61 billion in cuts to the federal budget. With less than 1 week to go before a partial government shutdown, lawmakers are locked in an ideological battle over the size and role of government. Republican Speaker of the House John Boehner has been under pressure from freshman Republicans not to compromise.
Now, listen, as you all know, I've never believed that shutting the government down was the goal. The goal here is to cut spending because cutting spending reduces uncertainty. It'll help our economy.
After months of negotiations, an agreement on how to cut the deficit and help the economy is still not in sight. We talked to two freshman congressmen from different parts of the country who have opposing views on how to solve the budget crisis.
So every meeting I have with someone...
Congressman Hanson Clark, a Democrat whose father was an immigrant from India, is a former state legislator. He represents part of urban Detroit, Michigan, an area hit hard by the collapse of the auto industry and the recession. Republican Congressman Paul Gosar is a dentist from the more rural western state of Arizona, known for its rugged individualism and conservative values. Gosar believes in a limited role for government. What do you think the role of government should be?
It's to level the playing field and making sure that we have the ability to prosper and not the opportunity to pick winners and losers. We have the ability to succeed and fail based on our own merits.
The people that I represent.
Clark, whose district is struggling economically, is an advocate for government-sponsored job training and education programs.
I think the very nature of why we have government is that you and I and all of us who are American citizens and taxpayers who are watching, we all pool our money together to serve ourselves and each other in a way that individually we couldn't afford it. So the nature of government is to serve the public, to serve the common good of the public.
Clark says he blames the current deficit on poor fiscal policy over the past decade, specifically 2 tax cuts and wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that were not paid for. He does not think deep cuts in federal programs, as Republicans are suggesting, are the answer.
Well, if we put more people back to work, they're likely to generate more revenue by paying more taxes. If we lower the cost of health care, that would, in a sense, increase the taxable compensations that employees get because they'll no longer need expensive health insurance to cover their health care costs. But we have to look at the big picture.
I'll send you over the email.
Gosar takes lessons from his dental practice where business costs are high and he must be frugal. He says the $100 billion in cuts Republicans had asked for this year was just a start. He says everything should be on the table for the 2012 budget negotiations, but cautions it should be done responsibly.
Okay, now the next chance, we're going to go to the budget and we're going to retool this budget. And we got to start looking at all these different things, whether it be Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. These are all that adult moment that everybody claims they're asking for.
The majority Republican U.S. House of Representatives has passed a budget calling for $61 billion in cuts this year, but the majority Democratic U.S. Senate rejected the idea. Negotiations are ongoing between Republicans, President Barack Obama, and Democratic leaders on a compromise that is said to be closer to $30 billion. Swicord, VOA News, Washington.